Hey everybody, Hellcracks here, and welcome to another episode of Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 165. And today we're going to be talking about the Torah, aka Wolf Trap. The massive cluster bleep 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 of the Draconians combined that it was so bad that they only produced it for a few years comparatively, and then stuck it in warehouses and tried to sell it on the Mercenary market. So if you're a mercenary, yes, you can too. As the salesman comes up and slaps it on the leg and says, "Hey, we got a BOGO. You buy two, you get one free." Yeah, because we're trying to unload these things. Yeah, it's not really a great mech at all. And it's even, I guess even the fluff basically says, hey, this thing's a piece of junk. But let's just talk about that 45-ton mech that could have been. Alright. Comes in about 1,000 battle value, 45 tons. It's a 690. Has Indo steel and has an XL engine. Yes, look, it's like, man, it's like Indo steel, XL engine. We're talking all kinds of technology on this thing. This is looking great until, oh wait, 10 single heat sinks. Basically, what's found on a fusion engine. Comes in with 120 points of armor, which is slightly like 2 tons short of maximum. And then we're looking at the weapon system. Alright, it carries around an LBX-10 with 2 tons of ammo. That's not bad if it was on, let's say, a heavy mech or, say, a 55-ton mech where it might have the space to do it. 45 tons, not really. Then it has case, 2 thumbs up. Alright, so they're thinking about it. It's like they got all the bells and whistles so far, except for the heat sinks. 2 medium lasers for just your parting shots if somebody gets close. And then it has an LRM-10 in the center torso with the ammo in the right torso with the case. Alright, so obviously there are a lot of thought process went into making this mech and designing it, and then they turn around and take one of the heaviest weapon systems they can find and shove it on there and say, alright, let's make it work from there. No, it's like, they would have been better off with something else for the main weapon system. It's like, as much as the Dracs like the Snakes love their PPCs, you know, we're just talking about the Panther, and then they put an ERPPC on a 35-ton mech that's slow as you can be, and it's just begging to be blasted off the face of the earth. So they could easily, instead of putting an LBX cannon on, put a ERPPC, alright, and then put double heat sinks on. Yes, I know the fluff says they didn't have a lot of double heat sinks, but if you're going to throw Indo steel and all the other goodies on this thing, you might as well design it to put double heat sinks on it. So they could have easily done that with the 10 double heat sinks and still had enough room to put stuff elsewhere on this thing. So as I said, this mech originally came out as a Torah, and then when they realized they had such a bad mech on their hand, they renamed it the Wolf Trap and started selling it on the market because they didn't want their name attached to it. So it's one of those mechs that could be good, but you know, its life expectancy really is really short, because you're taking a mech that can't take a, let's say you get hit by a clan PPC or a Gauss rifle, it's punching holes right through it, and you're already having a good chance of either hitting the ammo or hitting an engine, because with a 6.9 like this, it doesn't have any heat sinks at all on the internal structure. It's all on the engine. And if you do punch a hole in and you get some crits, you're either hitting engine or ammo. So this thing is going to be life expectancy is really short with this mech. So they could have easily put an ERPPC on this thing, throw some more tonnage into more armor. Heck, if they're playing around with high technology, heck, they could have put ferrofiber armor on this thing and still kept it at 7.5 tons and still increased the amount of armor it was carrying around. At least they could have done that and beefed up its torsos a little bit. So it's not really a great mech out there. It's to me, it does have the speed to try to stay alive a little bit, but heck, they could have even saved some of that tonnage that they put ferrofibers on this thing, and then take that extra tonnage and put some towards the armor, and maybe put like 4 jump jets or something, or even 6 jump jets. And for that matter, you know, put an ER large laser, jump jets, and increase the armor. You know, sky's the limit basically with this thing. So, but they are on the market as for sale to Mercenary. So I guess if you got your hands on one, you could be playing with it. And now, when we did play last campaign I had when we went through, we did pick a couple of these up, and they were on sale on the market. So we picked some up, took them, tore them to pieces, put them back together the way we wanted them, and went to town with them. And actually, they became a halfway decent mech that way, because we got rid of that autocannon. Now, there is a few versions of this. Now, there's the Wolf Trap 2 was put out. It has the autocannon replaced with a plasma rifle, so that's kind of a thumbs up. The missile launcher was an MML-9. Yeah, okay. And then it has the medium lasers became ER medium lasers, so okay, that's not bad. And it added a third one, so it has 3 ER medium lasers. And it has double heat sinks and then 3 light machine guns. So basically, by downgrading that autocannon to a plasma rifle, they put some new toys on the thing. And basically turned it into kind of a decent mech that survived, not maybe as long, but it at least had some firepower. Toys added to it. Then there's the Bravo version by Word of Blake. All hail the Word of Blake. Yeah, let the nukes fly. They downgraded the LRM to an LRM-5 to make room for a C3. You know, so they had the C3 computer improved, and an additional half-ton armor. So it's got a little bit more, 8 more points. And basically, the Word of Blake like their C3 improved for obvious reasons, because they networked everything they could together. Then there's the Charlie version. It's a minor modification to the Wolf Trap. The C version comes with a C3 slave. Yes, 2 thumbs up. That's a good idea. But that comes at the removing of a medium laser. Not so good. Alright, so it kind of turns it into the eyes and ears of a Lance if you have the C3 system, but I think you could easily have done that better by, heck, just drop off the autocannon for a PPC and then throwing some your C3 on there and some more medium lasers for that matter. You know, carry around a few more, even some more armor. Then there's the 2 Bravo version. This is based, they call it the Bear Trap. It has medium X-pulse lasers, improved armor protection, and it does have the XL engine, and the silver bullet Gauss rifle is replaced. Alright, so it has a different kind of Gauss rifle on board. Okay, so that's basically kind of an interesting thing. And it, alright, down below we do have where it talks about it has double heat sinks, ferrofibrous armor, and it has the experimental Gauss rifle with 2 tons of ammo to go with it. So the 2B is basically the 2X version that's been kind of changed a little bit, retrofitted. Let's see, they have any design quirks on this thing. Bad reputation, easy to maintain, rumble seat. You know, basically it's simplistic. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's not very variants. I think it was only produced for like 10, 15 years before it was discontinued. So, now, I have messed around a little bit with it over the years. Now, the most common version I always like to do with it is replace the LBX cannon, put either an ERPPC, double heat sinks. All right, so if you go with the ERPPC with the double heat sinks, that will free up, was it 6 tons? So a lot of times what I've done is get rid of the LRM-10, replace it with a Streak 4, and keep that in the center torso, obviously. And with the Streak, it's, that becomes ammo efficient system, and then that's basically combined with your medium lasers. And then you also have room to put a C3 Slave on board and increase the armor. And heck, you can even put jump jets on this thing, and put ferrofibrous armor on also. So it's basically one of those mechs that looks pretty good then after the fact. Another version I've gone with was like an ER large laser. Yeah, it's 8 points versus the 10, and you don't have the cluster, but you can put a Streak 6 on board instead. But keep that in center torso, put your ammo over there, because you already have the case built by the factory, so that's a good deal. 2 thumbs up. So yeah, that's an increase of tonnage, but that's like, it helps with your crit hunting, and it's ammo efficient. And then you can keep the Slave on there with ferrofibrous armor, and possibly even add on some medium lasers. So there's a lot of capabilities with this mech as a mercenary company if you got your hands on one off the market, because they said the warehouses were full of them, so because they didn't want them. And it's like the first thing you do is you rip off the autocannon and then put something else on there, and you got a good mech. Oh, and if you're the type that really wants to tear it to pieces and you remove the autocannon, heck, you can just put a standard engine in and sell off that XL to someone else and use the money that you gain out of it to rebuild this thing. So there's a lot of capabilities with it. But if you're stuck with the one Wolf Trap 1 and you got it in a game, basically this is a crit hunter, because you got the long-range weapon system with the LBX. Well, that LBX is not really long-range, but you got the LRM-10, and typically an LRM-10 is going to do 6 points, so you're going to have a 5 and a 1 point block. And then follow it up with, when you get that autocannon, hit them with cluster munitions or solid. It depends. By the time you get some of those mechs that have their armor ripped off, hit them with the cluster. So, and then I usually ran this mech as one of the last ones that would shoot, and use cluster munitions on somebody who has most of their armor ripped off, or has their armor ripped off, and they got a whole bunch of open spots. Then you're just going crit hunting with that shotgun, and typically you're going to get 6 hits, 1 point shots going here and there. So that's not bad. And I like the chance of critical here or there. You get 6 shots at it, or potentials. One of them is going to be a crit, maybe 2. And that could be the one that hits the ammo and hurt somebody. Because in one of the last games, it was like somebody getting hit in the ammo was like, oh, hitting the ammo, boom, boom. And then the pilot's knocked out and the mech tears itself to pieces with the ammo going off. So that is basically how you use this thing. Keep it around the backside. Use it in the order, I like to call the order of operations. Make it one of the last ones. Now, if it's a fresh mech, hit them with the solid shot with that 10-point block, and then go forward from there. It does have some speed with a 6.9, but against the clans, it's like you might get you're going to have a 2 or 3 mod. That isn't great, but it's better than nothing, because typically if you're facing the clans, usually most of their mechs are going to have a -2 or -3 right off the board. So that just negated your 3 mod that you may have had. So it's something you just have to think about and look at in the game. So keep this thing moving, because with XL engines, its life expectancy isn't all that great. So there you go. That's pretty much it. That's the Wolf Trap in a nutshell. Not a great mech. It's one of those ones that needs to be taken to the gantry, ripped apart, and put back together into something that's useful. And if you get in a game where you're stuck with the standard Wolf Trap and you're playing the Draconians Combine, House Karita, and you're just like, okay, I got one of these things. Basically, hang back with it and hope that you don't attract too much attention with it, because its life expectancy is about half of everybody else's if they have no XL engines. So there you go. Alright, hope you like it. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends, and we will talk with y'all later. Elcracks out.